Perfect. With that, when we talk about selling and upgrading, there is not necessarily a step-by-step guide. It's more so the times and opportunity in which you're able to start the selling and the upgrading process. So what we'll do is after I read through a couple of pieces of information, we'll pause the recording. We'll allow you guys 10-15 minutes to just kind of jot down the opportunities in a treatment or in a service or a set or in your beauty business altogether that you have to sell and upgrade in an organic way. So let's start with the chapter. Another area that touches on the issues of you and money is selling. And as a beauty professional, you have plenty of opportunities to sell retail products and upgrade service tickets. Ticket upgrading, as defined, is known as upselling services. It's the practice of recommending and selling additional services to your client. These services may be performed by you or other professionals licensed in a different field. And then you have retailing, which is defined as the act of recommending and selling products to your clients for at-home use. These two activities can make all the difference in your economic picture. So when you upgrade, no matter how you get paid, if you are the owner of the business, so you have a suite or you work for another company and you make a commission or you make hourly, upgrading and retailing are ways for you to earn more income throughout your career. Every service is an opportunity for you to upgrade the service itself and or sell retail. If you're making 50% of retail sales, if you're making 25, 30%, 40% of services performed, adding on a 30, 40, 50, $100 service puts more money in your pocket. So ultimately it is something that we do have to do. Like we talked about in the consultation process, it's important that you understand that selling and retailing don't have to be a bad thing. They don't have to be a negative thing, and they don't have to be scary. You need to identify for every product and every service that you have to work with in your wheelhouse, that you know who it's for, why they would need it, and be able to explain that to a client. That's all you're doing when it comes to selling and retailing. In the beauty business, you don't want to perform a hard sell and you don't want to stress yourself or the clients out. You want to allow this process to be organic, and making sure that you are working in the best interest of your client and their goals is the best way to do that. So these two activities can make all the difference in your economic picture. The more you retail, the more you upgrade, the more money you're going to make. It's the nature of the beast. So principles of selling. Some beauty professionals shy away from sales. They think that selling is being pushy. A close look at how selling works can set your mind at ease. Not only can you become very good at selling once you understand the principles behind it, but you can also feel good about providing your clients with a valuable service. To be successful in sales, you need ambition, determination, and a pleasing personality. To caveat that, you also need to understand what it is you're selling and why. The first step is selling is to sell yourself. So clients are not just purchasing items and services, they're purchasing you. They're buying into what it is that you have to talk about. Clients must like and trust you before they will purchase the services, skincare items, shampoos, conditioners, or other merchandise. To avoid buyer's remorse, you want to make sure that the client is confident in you and your brand, so that when they do purchase items, that they are excited about that purchase once they leave the environment. Recognize the client's needs and preferences, lay out the foundation for successful selling. So again, once we've done the consultation, we know exactly what our client's needs and preferences are, but there are going to be opportunities before the client even books an appointment for you to sell and upgrade. So that's the type of information we're going to lay out today. To become a proficient salesperson, you must be able to apply the following principles of selling products and services. One, you want to be familiar with the features and benefits of the various services and products that you are trying to sell and recommend. Only those that the client really needs. You should try to test all the products available on yourself. Knowing how the products look, feel, and respond to your skin is one of the best ways to approach selling, because I like to use a benefits-based approach. I recommend this essential oil because it's a lavender blend. It includes this, 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 and this. In the past, when I've had trouble sleeping, I've used it in this way, and it absolutely helped a lot. Is this something that this is something I'm going to recommend for you to help deal with your XYZ, whatever issue it is that they told you about. So you want to adapt your approach and technique to meet the needs of the personality of each client. If you have someone that's shy and quiet, you don't want to be pushy. You want to match their style. You want to match their energy. If you have someone that is extremely excited and ready to go and organized and neat and ready to dive in fully, then that's the approach that you want to take as well. You really want to match that client's energy. You want to match that client's personality, their style, so that you don't offend. You want to be confident when recommending products for sale and services. You become confident by knowing about the information you're talking about. So the products you're selling, the services you're selling, the more you know about them, the easier it is. I recommend, even if you go work for someone, they're going to have a brochure of all their services and it's going to have descriptions. Same for the product. The products all have descriptions, product knowledge, exactly, Claudia. Rewrite that stuff in your own words, right? Because most of us speak like we write, like we talk. So in order for us to transfer information to someone else verbally, we need to be able to have processed it in a way that's comfortable for us. So taking the time to work through the information, if someone hands you a description of a service, you should rewrite the description of that service in your own words, because now I fundamentally understand it differently versus just trying to read from it and then tell the client about it. Generate interest and desire in the customer by asking questions that determine a need. So open-ended question, probing questions, questions that allow the client to tell you what's going on with them. Do you know what in the advanced facial box? You can also generate interest and desire in the customer by showcasing the product or service out in your retail or your public area. One thing that a lot of places do now, and it's funny to me because even plastic surgeons will do it. Have you ever noticed they're starting to like live stream their sessions, like their appointments? That's because it generates interest. People want to know what it is they're buying and what they're investing in. So making sure you're generating that interest and sharing and being open about products and services really does help. Yep, before and afters. Thank you, Claudia. Showing that information really opens the client's eyes to turn off that fight or flight, to turn off them thinking this is a scam. Why? Because, oh, I've seen her post her before and afters for nanoneedling for the last 4 months. I've been following you on Instagram. So now when you recommend it in that consultation, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I do need that. Oh yeah, I saw the live stream you did and you talked about it, or I saw this person. And you're answering all their questions without asking. Excellent. I saw this person on your feed and she had a similar issue as me and the results were amazing. I want that. So just like Claudia said, you're answering all their questions without asking. Showing is so important. It's far more important than telling a client. Never misrepresent your service as a product. Don't make unrealistic claims. This will only lead to the client's disappointment. Make it unlikely that you will ever make a sale to that client. So here's the thing. You want to under promise and over deliver when it comes to sales. Under promise. This can do 1, 2, 3. Over deliver. This did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under promise, over deliver. I have a big problem with that. I always over promise and I struggle to deliver because I have such loft, like that's the way my mind works. That's my personality. But you have to remember, working with clients, we have to match that client's expectation. We have to match their approach. We have to match their energy. So never misrepresent your services. One of the biggest pet peeves that clients have and that I see is if you don't know something, say you don't know and you'll find out. Don't lie. If you don't know an answer, say, I'm not familiar with that. Let me do some research and get back to you. Go off, do the research and get back to the client. But if you don't know something, don't guess and don't lie. It will never work out in your favor. You may guess right, but ultimately the way you deliver it, you're not going to be confident in the information. Next, do not underestimate the client's intelligence or their knowledge of their own home care regimen or particular needs. Don't speak negatively about anything they're doing or using. If someone says, I'll use Rodan and Fields because that's a very well-known, hated product in the skincare industry. I've never worked with it. I don't feel any kind of way about it, but it's just one of those products that doesn't have a good reputation in the industry. So if a client says, well, that's what I use, I'm not going to say, ew, that's awful. That's not professional. It's not this. It's not that. It doesn't work. It's this. It's going to hurt your skin. All of that could be true, but the attitude and the vitriol is not beneficial to the conversation. And we're assuming that the client is not knowledgeable and telling them this information, and it will make them feel less than. Some people can be put off by that. Some people can just never work with you again. Instead, ask the client, continue to probe questions. Okay, so you're using this product. Based on the issues that you're having, I'm wondering if this product could be contributing. Let's dig a little deeper into the product that you're at, each individual product that you're using, and then work through each of the products and point out, oh, okay, well, I looked this product up. This particular cleanser has this, and these ingredients can tend to be stripping of the skin. It actually destroys your acid mantle, making your skin produce more oil and lipids and fats to actually protect itself. So we might want to slow down the use of that. I said the same thing. That product is not beneficial for you, but I didn't say it in a judgmental, hostile, or an angry way. I didn't make the client feel like, well, you're an idiot for using that. No, instead, I shared my professional knowledge of products and ingredients and how the skin works to educate the client and bring them to my level, as opposed to, working down and getting angry or getting upset or being disrespectful in any way. I also like to ask clients why they're using what they're using. How did you come in contact with this product? But most of the time people will say, oh, I use it because that's what I can afford. What's a drugstore brand? Well, I can argue that point when talking about retail, because yes, this cleanser may be $45, but because of the active ingredients, because of the quality of the product, it'll last you. If you're doing 2 cleanses a day for the next 90 days, this product should last you 3 to 4 months. But with your drugstore product, because the efficacy is sometimes less because it's a watered down version of a professional product, then you're going to use more product, get less results, and have to buy it more often. So ultimately, you're spending more money up front for professional products, but your skin's going to thank you, your wallet's going to thank you, because you're not spending as often and for so many different things. Every piece of information that the client gives you has to be acknowledged. We have to acknowledge that there is a budgetary concern. We have to acknowledge that there may be a skin concern. We have to acknowledge that they have a bias from and to particular products for whatever reason. We acknowledge those things, and then we explain to them the professional side of it in a way that's not rude or condescending. To sell a product or service, deliver your sales talk in a relaxed, friendly manner. If possible, demonstrate the use of the product. Speaking to someone about a product and touching it is one of the best times to actually make that sell and commit it to the client. So like Claudia said earlier in the consultation, when you are going through the steps of the facial, if you are going to explain each product to them, it's great to actually put a name to the product. Okay, Miss Client, I'm using our vitamin A pumpkin cleanser. Vitamin A is great for anti-aging. It provides antioxidants, and pumpkin is going to be great for your skin tone and texture. So I'm using this product based on the pigmentation issues we discussed, as well as working to help fight against free radicals in the skin that may cause more fine lines and or wrinkles. So I'm using that product. Like I said, it features vitamin A and pumpkin. The smell you're smelling right now is the pumpkin. So it's got a pleasant scent to it, as well as being an effective product. It'll foam, it'll bubble, and you're going to use it with water like I'm using it today if you decide to take that product home. So talking through the service, if the client is okay with that, allows you to actually sell the product without even having to sell it, because you're just describing it to them. So it puts them in a position of being educated. And once they're educated on something, they reduce the concept that it's a scam, because they're educated on it. So they know, okay, this isn't a scam. I learned why I need this, as opposed to I need this for some arbitrary reason. And then you have recognized the right physiological moment to close any sale. So once the client is offered to buy, stop selling. Don't oversell, don't speak too much. Simply praise the client for making the purchase and assure the client will be happy with it. Follow up with any information that the client needs to know about the product or service and move on. If you over talk, then you'll talk yourself right out of a sale. You have to give them enough information for them to make an educated decision and respect that decision, because ultimately everyone is not going to buy. You want to make sure that you're confident overcoming objections. The best way to be confident in overcoming objections is to understand the why. If it's a pricing objection, professional salon products are going to be far more effective and far more cost effective over time. It just may cost a little bit more upfront. If it's an objection over, one of my objections is always, well, I won't use it, I'm not consistent. A way to overcome that objection is, well, Ms. Reynolds, when we talked in your consultation, you told me you were serious about dealing with your pigmentation issues on the cheeks, forehead. I'm pointing them out, right? In order to do that, as much as you know, I know you said you're not consistent and that's something that you struggle with. In order for you to actually reach those goals, I need to see you every month for the next 6 months so that we can do these particular treatments. And I need you to use these products at home, because the use of these products combined with the treatments will get you the results that you're looking for. But in order to do that, I need the commitment with you. And then Claudia says, start with something small, maybe like an eye cream or something easy to use. Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, you're going to put 3 products out in the consultation. You're going to put 3 products, but ultimately I would pull the one that's going to give them the most bang for their buck and help them with their biggest concern. If pigmentation is their biggest concern, or fine lines and wrinkles around the eye is their biggest concern, I'm going to say these are the 3 products I think you need in your regimen. But what you need today to start tackling the issues of the fine lines and wrinkles is going to be this eye cream. It's got mammalian butter in it. It's soft, it's hydrated, it's going to help fill in those fine lines. It is something you can use morning, noon, and night. And although it is a more expensive product, because of the efficacy of the product, you have to use very little. I'm going to do an example of how we'd use it. And I'm just going to get a pump and we're going to apply it with our pinky fingers, orbit the eye, and gently massage it in. Another great way to make the results of this product even more effective is if you use a derma roller. You can put it in the fridge overnight or in the freezer, get up in the morning, apply those eye cream dots like I just showed you, and then use your derma roller to actually rub them in. You're working twofold to help reduce puffiness in the morning, and you're allowing that product to penetrate into the skin through manual manipulation. After I've said that, if they still say no or they'll think about it, I'm done. I'm not going to sell it to them anymore. It's over. Either I captured them or I didn't. So most people have reasons for doing what they do. And when you're selling something, it's your job to figure out the reason that will motivate a person to buy it. You will find that your clients' motives for buying beauty and wellness products will vary widely. Some people are going to be concerned with vanity. Some people are going to be concerned with budget. Some people are going to be concerned with time and use of the product. It really just depends on your particular client and what it is that motivates them to buy or not to buy. Again, if your client's coming in for relaxation, they're less likely to be motivated to buy an eye cream and more likely to buy something like a muscle balm or one of those heated wraps. I used to work at a spa and they would sell the heated neck wraps with the beads. You could just microwave them. They were like $75, but people bought them all the time and you could get them on Amazon. But they use the product throughout the minute they walk through the door, the receptionist checked in the clients, put them in a room, put the little product, the neck wrap on them, gave them a little bit of essential oil to do some deep breathing while the service provider came and got them. The service provider took them to the room, told them what to do. And the last thing they took off before they left was that heated pack. And then when they were done with the service, before the client got, left the esthetician left the room, they'll let the client know when you're done, would you like a few minutes to resume meditating in the relaxation room? I can get you some water. I'll refresh your neck pillow. So. If the client said yes, the esthetician would, or the massage therapist will take them back to that room, give them a fresh wrap. And then once they're done, take them, educate the front desk on what it is that you're pulling for them. But people would buy those little neck wraps all the time and they were so expensive. but they liked it because it was such an ingrained part of the service. And when a client comes in and their motivation is relaxation, that's what I'm going to sell to. That's what I'm going to upgrade to. This is how I can further help you relax. This is how I can further help you with your skin concerns. So that's the questions that you're answering. So it is coming up on 1:42. I'm going to give us till 2 o'clock on the dot. What I want you to do is list the opportunities you have to sell to a client. You can be as detailed as you'd like. You can be as simple as you like. I'm going to give you one example of an opportunity to sell or upgrade to a client. So, using social media to showcase product or service. That can be live streams. That could be product discussions. Product discussions weekly, live streams weekly, anything you want, but social media is an opportunity for you to sell your product or service. So before someone even comes into your business, you can use social media to showcase products or service to start that selling process. The next one, perfect, no problem, Gabriella, I'll get you clocked out. The next one is at the end of the service. So let's put it down here. At the end of the service, I'm going to pull 3 products based on clients' needs and goals. So I've got so far using social media. So that's before they ever become a client or book an appointment. And at the end of the service, I'm going to pull products based on the client's needs and goals. So you've got 2 that you can work in between. We've got the very first contact with the client. We've got the end of service with the client. What I want you to do until 2 o'clock is go fill in the gap. So at what point in the consultation are you selling? Are you selling when you walk into the treatment room? Are you selling during the skin analysis? Are you selling during the lash analysis? Are you selling during the actual service? Are you selling after the service is done, but in the treatment room? List everything that you can think of in the next 15 minutes. We're going to come back, and then I want everyone to type 2 items into the chat, and then we'll go over those items, fill in the performing, selling, and upgrade opportunities, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, we are back and we have some responses. All right, we have our responses of opportunities to sell and upgrade. So let's read through the responses and put them on our actual sheet. All right, during the service, Gloria says, during the service, if a client likes the way a product feels or smells, absolutely. So during the service is a great opportunity to recommend a product or service. So I think I'm gonna have to type it. During service, if client likes the way a product feels or smells. So that one we're going to put retail next to, because that's a retail opportunity. If they like the product or service, the way it feels or smell, that's an opportunity to retail it to them. Kristen says, have your own written material about product and who is beneficial for, which can generate interest in something from the beginning. Absolutely. So the using social media will fall under that one. Use your own personal experiences or something you've witnessed on similar or someone similar to a client as proof of how a product can work for them. Absolutely. And then Selena says, during consultation, ask what areas they would like to see improvement in. Wrinkles, fine line, age spot, introduce the product. Then once the service is over, provide a before and after virtual album that can be viewed while in the waiting area. I am going to put the during the consultation because we don't have that one during the consultation. So we've got them in there, and then we're going to say during consultation. So during the consultation, we are going to ask and analyze might spell analyze, ask and analyze. And then for this one, we're going to put retail and services, because we can retail them products at this point and we can offer services at this point. Good one, Selena. Good one, Kristen. Good one, Glory. And then Claudia, we have an album or photo available for people to look at on your page or previous models using the product. So again, the using social media. So as of right now, we have 4 responses. I need a response from Erica. Is this Kimberly on iPhone? And Brittany. Send me your responses in. And while they're sending in their responses, I'm going to brainstorm a couple of more. So the client has found us on social media. So they are able to we're able to retail from social media. We're able to upgrade from social media. During the consultation, we can ask and analyze, so we can retail in our service, offer retails and services during the consultation. Then we have during the service, but when we're actually applying product, we can also put during the service, specifically the skin analysis, or the lash analysis. Oh, let's fix this. The skin analysis or the lash analysis. So during the service, if the client likes the way a product feels or smells, during the service again, but specifically while you're doing a skin or a lash analysis, it's a great time to retail, because essentially what you're offering the client is, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I would recommend as far as service or retail. So let's put service or retail here. Perfect. And then step by step for the cause. Claudia has have an album, have product knowledge on the ingredients of what they're good for, and then step by step for the customer and compare it to the products they use. So when you say compare it to the products they use, Claudia, what section of the service are you specifically talking about? So at what point would you compare it to the products that they use? While they're laying in the treatment room, during the consultation, at the end of the service, when specifically? So we can put it on our chart. At the end. So at the end of the service, compare products to their use. So let's go end of service. We've pulled 3 products. Let's do another end of service. And let's say this point of the end of service is after client has dressed, but before retail, but before checking them out. So a great way to see it this way is, you've ended the service. Yes, it would be part of the aftercare. So let's do it. Let's do that. Part of the aftercare. Part of the aftercare. And this could work for retail or service. The services would just be on the next visit, but it's appropriate because we're upgrading their next visit and we're pre-booking it at the same time. So part of the aftercare. So end of service, part of the aftercare. We're going to go over the products and services that they're using. So compare now. Remember, you technically only get 5 to 10 minutes after a service, depending on how much time you book. So when you're in a spa environment, like a franchise spa, like let's say you go work for someone else, you're only going to have so much time. So what you could do is, to get around the you can't contact and communicate with the clients after the fact, to get around that, you can have the clients email you or follow a blog that you have, or you can offer to send them a recap of their service, and they just have to provide you with their email if they're comfortable with that. That way, they provide you with their email. You can send the end of service information on top of the aftercare, the product recommendations, and compare and contrasting the products and service that they're currently doing. But that's something, like that level of detail is going to be something that you do within your own business, because you may book a 1-hour facial, but actually book 2 hours for it, 30 minutes for the consultation, 30 minutes after the facial for the end of service prepping, filing the report, all of that. So their initial appointment may be 2 hours. Every appointment after that may be 1 hour and 30 minutes, if that makes sense. iPhone says, have a showcase of your treatment room and offer products to client after appointment based on what has been discussed on their concern areas that you want to target to improve. So end of service, you're pulling the products based on the goals and needs. Is there another time during the service that we would recommend a product or service? Clients laying on the table, we've done their skin analysis, we've recommended a product or service based on their skin analysis. The client during the service may mention that they really like a product or the way it feels or smells, so we recommend it at that point. Is there another point in which we would recommend product or services? Can anybody think of one? So another one that I would say would be during the follow-up. You should be following up with your clients after 3, 7, and 10 to 14 days. No matter what service you do, you should follow up with your client between 3 to 4 days. So 3 to 4 days, 7 days, 10 days, and between 10 and 14 days. Essentially, what we're saying as far as follow-up is if I have a client who comes and gets a chemical peel today, it's Friday, I'm going to check in with them on Monday or Tuesday. So between 3 and 4 days. After that, depending on the response, I might check again at 7 days. And again, depending on the response, another 10 to 14 days, follow up, confirm the rebooked appointment, and go from there. Claudia says, after the skin analysis in the middle, you could recommend exfoliation or something machine. So some type of service upgrade. Absolutely. So you're doing the skin analysis. That's going to be all at the same time. So while you're doing that skin analysis, before you even start the exfoliation, you're going to get all of your recommendations out as far as services. And you might start on recommending products. So a way I would do that is, okay, based on what we see here with your skin type and your skin conditions, these are the product types that we're going to use to help treat the acne that's going on. And then these are the service types that I recommend we add today. I recommend we go ahead and upgrade you to a galvanic treatment where we perform de-encrustation with a scaling gel or de-encrustation fluid. That's going to allow the product to sit in the follicle and actually liquefy the sebum so that I can get it out of the skin a little easier, making extractions more bearable. After that, I also recommending adding high frequency, which is going to create a ozone on top of the surface of the skin to actually destroy bacteria. So any acne that we weren't able to extract, the ozone from the high frequency will come back and actually sanitize and clean that area, making it less likely for the acne lesions to spread and to slow down, to speed up the actual recovery of the active lesions that we aren't able to extract. That's going to be this much for these 2 upgrades. Would you like to go ahead and do those? Yes, great. No, great. After we've done the service, I'm going to jot down a couple of products that I think are going to be really important to your skincare routine. During this point, they've accepted the upgrade or not. So I'm moving to the next step, which would be the exfoliation. But at that point, before I start exfoliating, I'm putting on my gloves, I'm mixing it. I'm going to let the client know we have X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm going to use on you. These are the products that I'm going to pull for you to take home. They're definitely going to be beneficial to your skincare regimen to allow you to actually maintain the acne-free skin that you're looking for. Of course, there are some things that you can do that don't cost money: drinking more water, properly washing your skin, properly exfoliating, using the right products. We can go over all that information throughout the service and at the end. And then I'll finish with the end of service follow-up. I'll end with a follow-up report where we discuss and I outline all of the steps I think you need to take as well as how to use the products and services that I'm recommending to you. And then I finish with the service that way. Any questions on the opportunities to perform selling and upgrading in your business? And that's any part of the industry.